On an early autumn morning, the gentle breeze was blowing. I walked on the way to school with sleepiness. Suddenly, a word from Nora completely drove away my drowsiness. "Who do you say you like?" Nora glared at me angrily and shyly. "Keep your voice down. I only told you the secret." I took a deep breath, suppressed my anger, and asked again, "Who on earth is the person you like?" Nora blushed, glared at me again, and then said, It's the transfer student. There are 2 new transfer students. Which one are you talking about?" "Well, the handsomest one." "The handsomest one?" "2 new transfer students came to our class yesterday. To be honest, they were both quite handsome. But if we had to say who was the handsomest, it must be Daniel, who was quickly promoted to the position of school hunk within a day. Just thinking about that guy's attracting face made my blood boil. I've grown up with Nora since childhood, so we can be considered childhood sweethearts. And now, my childhood sweetheart has been snatched away by that guy. After that, I was in a foul mood all the way. When I arrived at school and hadn't even reached the classroom, I saw Daniel surrounded by a group of girls, also wearing the blue and white school uniform. Daniel's tall and slender figure managed to make the somewhat dowdy uniform look fashionable, especially his face. In a crowd, it's hard not to notice him. But what's so appealing about a womanizer like him? Nora. I'm telling you. I turned my head to talk to Nora, only to see that she had already run away, in the direction of Daniel. I couldn't bear to watch. I turned around and strode away, without noticing that although Nora was indeed running in Daniel's direction, she wasn't heading towards Daniel. I was a bit absent-minded in the first class. Finally, when the bell rang for the end of class, I was about to go and have a talk with Nora. Who would have thought that Nora had disappeared and was nowhere to be seen at her seat? I turned my head and looked in Daniel's direction. That guy was surrounded by girls again, although Daniel looked cold and didn't pay much attention to those girls. But who's to say he isn't just pretending to be aloof? Maybe he's secretly enjoying it in his heart. For a man as reserved and secretly amorous as him, if Nora gets together with him, she'll definitely get hurt. Thinking of this, I increasingly feel that I must have a good talk with Nora and persuade her to stop liking Daniel. Perhaps my intense stare at Daniel was too obvious, for he suddenly looked over while being surrounded by a group of girls. I unexpectedly locked eyes with him and inexplicably felt guilty. But soon I came to my senses. Why should I feel guilty? If anyone should feel guilty, it should be this flirtatious young man. So, I gave him a fierce glare. Daniel was stunned for a moment. I quickly averted my eyes and stopped looking at him. In the evening, I played games with Bro K. After the game, I couldn't help but complain to him about the fact that my childhood friend had fallen in love with the transferred student. "So, are you heartbroken?" "What heartbreak? I regard Nora as my sister. Nora's family and mine are neighbors. I was born 3 months earlier than Nora. Since I was a child, my parents have told me to protect Nora well. Now Nora has fallen for that philandering boy Daniel. It's obvious she's going to get hurt. I'm just worried that Nora will get hurt." Okay. After listening to my explanation, Bro K let out a long "oh." Actually, it's quite simple to make your childhood sweetheart stop liking the transfer student. All you need is for the transfer student to fall for someone else. It's not that simple. That Daniel kid seems very picky. He probably won't fall for someone easily. Then you should work hard. For example, try to make him like you. Get out of here. I knew Bro K was just joking, so I didn't really take his words to heart. But before I went to sleep, Bro K's words inexplicably popped into my head. I couldn't help but think that if Nora thought Daniel liked boys, she should give up on him. Right? Maybe. It's really worth a try. The next morning, I bought 2 bottles of yogurt as usual, but didn't give one of them to Nora as I usually did. I carried the 2 bottles of yogurt to the classroom. Daniel hadn't arrived yet, but his desk was already piled with various kinds of breakfast, and quite a few of them were high-end customized items. In contrast, my bottle of yogurt seemed a bit out of place. It seems not easy for this yogurt to stand out if I leave it here. Just as I was pondering, my deskmate suddenly put his arm around my neck from behind. "What are you staring at Daniel's desk for?" Don't tell me you're thinking of stealing his breakfast. Who wants to steal his breakfast? I'm thinking of giving him breakfast. Okay. I quickly shook the yogurt in my hand. My deskmate looked at me in surprise and asked, "You're giving yogurt to Daniel? I thought you didn't like him." Remembering that I had complained about Daniel to my deskmate before, I immediately retorted loudly, "Who said I don't like Daniel? I like him very much." All of a sudden, the classroom fell silent. All the classmates looked at me. More importantly, Daniel was standing at the door. At this moment, he was looking at me with a hint of surprise in his eyes. Next to him, another transfer student, Henry, patted him on the shoulder with a smile and said, "Well done, Daniel. You're popular with both boys and girls." Just as I was about to spit at him and explain something, I caught sight of Nora looking at Daniel, and the little spark in my heart disappeared instantly. The stage is set, and I have to play this part. Of course, I wasn't quite so bold as to actually admit that I liked Daniel, but I didn't deny it either. Instead, I put the yogurt on Daniel's desk, which was tantamount to a tacit admission. Someone let out a cheer, and then many people followed suit. I inexplicably felt my face getting hot and quickly turned around to go back to my seat. Who would have thought that when I turned around, I bumped into someone behind me? "Be careful." Daniel's clear voice carried a hint of steadiness. He held my arm, and I, losing my balance, directly fell into his embrace. "Michael, this guy is quick. He's already throwing himself into someone's arms." Someone in the class said this. I immediately felt extremely embarrassed. Although I intended to make Nora misunderstand Daniel, it definitely wasn't this kind of misunderstanding. I quickly got out of Daniel's arms. To avoid looking guilty, I even looked up at him. At that glance, my eyes met Daniel's. Daniel's deep gaze was fixed on me, showing a bit of earnestness. I felt inexplicably guilty under his gaze. I pushed him and quickly walked past him back to my seat. I spent the whole morning feeling very uncomfortable. Although my classmates in the class joked about me because of what happened in the morning, no one really took it seriously. Most of them thought I was just joking. But Daniel, who sits diagonally behind me, I felt very uncomfortable being stared at by him all morning. Could this guy have taken what happened in the morning seriously? The more I thought about it, the more something seemed wrong. To avoid causing any real misunderstandings, I still had to clarify things with him. During lunch, when I saw Daniel putting down his plate and about to leave, I quickly got up to chase after him. But someone grabbed my sleeve. I turned around and found Nora looking at me with a complicated look. "What's wrong, Nora?" "Michael, do you really like Daniel?" "Of course not," I immediately retorted. "Don't lie to me. You've been staring at Daniel the whole time during the meal. Do you like him that much?" Nora's expression also became complicated, and there seemed to be a hint of sadness between her eyebrows. Seeing her like this, I couldn't be bothered to comfort her. Instead, I secretly rejoiced in my heart. Is Nora really hurt by what happened between me and Daniel? Then surely she won't like Daniel anymore. Right? Does this mean my plan is going to succeed? I sized up Nora's complexion and asked somewhat cautiously, "So, do you still like that transfer student?" Nora's face instantly flushed. She carefully glanced around before saying to me, "Well, you better take care of yourself first." After saying that, she covered her face and ran away. I stood there sulkily, really confused. Does Nora like me or not after all? When I got home at night, I talked about this matter with Bro K online again. Did I hear you right? Susu, you actually went all out to seduce the transfer student. Hey, what do you mean by seduce? Don't talk nonsense. Is it nonsense? I'm really a bit worried that you'll take the fake for real and cause trouble. I asked you to help me come up with a solution, not to make fun of me. At this time, I didn't know how accurate Bro K's jinx was. In my ignorance, I even asked him to continue to help me come up with strategies. After discussing with Bro K for an hour, I decided to make persistent efforts. Bro K meant that since Nora was already sad, I should make her even sadder. Of course, the current sadness is only temporary. It's better than Nora really getting in too deep and then suffering long-term pain. I went to wait for Nora as usual in the morning. but was told by Nora's parents that she had already gone to school. So early? Yes. That girl said she had an appointment with a classmate to have breakfast outside. A classmate? Having breakfast together? I immediately had a bad feeling. Nora doesn't have any classmates with particularly close relationships at school. Could it be? Without having time to talk more with Nora's mother, I immediately started running towards the school. I managed to shorten the 20-minute walk to just 10 minutes. By the time I reached the school gate, I was out of breath and sweating all over. After taking a big gasp, I rushed straight to the classroom. I only focused on hurrying and didn't watch where I was going. I don't know who threw a meat bun from breakfast on the road. I stepped on it and slipped out of control. I shouted, "Oh no!" in my heart, thinking that I was bound to fall flat on my face this time. I closed my eyes and waited for this embarrassing moment to come. However, after waiting for a while, there was no pain as I imagined. Instead, I fell into a warm and broad embrace. What's going on? I suddenly opened my eyes, and what came into view was exactly Daniel's handsome face that attracted people like bees to flowers. To be fair, Daniel is definitely the type who can make a living just by his looks. However, isn't this just a gigolo? I secretly grumbled in my heart, but forgot that I was still being held in his arms. Someone around said, "Michael, are you really going to cling to Daniel? These must be our classmates." I came to my senses and quickly tried to get out of his arms. At this moment, I keenly heard Nora's voice. Could this girl really have made an appointment with Daniel to have breakfast together? I couldn't help but raise my eyes and glance at Daniel. And just then he was looking at me too. Our eyes met, and I inexplicably felt my face heat up. It's all this gigolo's fault for having such a face that attracts admirers. "What are you looking at?" I pretended to be fierce, but Daniel hooked his lips and smiled gently. "I'm looking at when you'll be willing to get out of my arms." How could I forget? Who's reluctant? After retorting to Daniel, I was about to let go of the hand that had been tightly clutching the hem of Daniel's clothes without knowing when Nora's voice sounded beside me. "Michael, why are you hugging Daniel?" Almost at that moment, the hand I was about to let go of tightened instantly, and my hand even went around behind Daniel and directly hugged his waist. Daniel was obviously a bit stunned by my actions. He looked at me in surprise and uncertainty, and a strange look flashed across his deep eyes quickly. "Nora, why didn't you wait for me today?" I looked at Nora. Nora's face turned red all of a sudden. Could it be that she really had breakfast with Daniel this morning? I turned my head and glanced at Daniel in my arms, and my hands subconsciously hugged him even tighter. Nora's expression instantly became complicated. She hesitated for a moment and then said, "Well, don't worry. I won't fight with you for Daniel." This sentence made all the classmates who were watching the show boil with excitement. I vaguely felt that something was wrong, but Nora's words clearly meant giving up on Daniel. My plan had succeeded. I was immersed in the joy of the successful plan, and the smile on my face couldn't be hidden. What I didn't know was that my beaming face had successfully dug a big hole for myself. The bell for the class preparation rang, dispersing the crowd of classmates who were watching the drama. I let go of Daniel and didn't even glance at him. I grabbed my school bag and dashed towards the classroom. As soon as I walked in, I felt that the way my classmates were looking at me was a bit strange. After I sat down, my deskmate's words quickly solved my confusion. "Michael, you're really serious about this, aren't you? What do you mean by being serious? Stop pretending. The news that you gave Daniel a big hug outside has spread all over." "What?" I stood up excitedly. I knew it. Among those people watching the drama just now, there must be someone from our class. But how did these people pass on the message? What do you mean by saying that I gave Daniel a bear hug? As soon as I stood up, I saw that my classmates were looking at me with strange looks again. I couldn't help looking at Daniel and found that he was also looking at me. Different from the strange looks of the classmates. Under his thick eyebrows, his eyes carried a complexity that I couldn't understand. I glared at him with a bit of transferred anger. Daniel didn't seem angry. Instead, he gave me a smile. This smile directly ignited the anger in my heart. Is Daniel provoking me? We were hugging each other. Yet only I was being laughed at. Is he really that pleased? At this moment, a strange sense of competitiveness welled up in my heart. Next time, I must make Daniel be laughed at. After pondering for a whole morning, I finally came up with an excellent idea. As soon as lunchtime arrived, I immediately walked up to Daniel. Hey, let's go have lunch together. Daniel had transferred here 2 days ago and had always been going around alone. Although there are always girls around him, it's very strange that they all automatically avoid him during mealtime. Yesterday when I saw Daniel in the cafeteria, he was even sitting alone at a table. Daniel looked down at me and gave a faint smile. Don't you know my name? Yes, I do. Then why don't you call me by my name? There was originally nothing wrong with calling Daniel's name, but being asked like this, a strange feeling suddenly rose in my heart. The name Daniel also became difficult to pronounce. Are you going to eat or not? If not, I'll go by myself. I was a bit annoyed and made a gesture to leave after saying that. Daniel grabbed my hand from behind. Yes, I'll eat. A cold voice came from behind me, which somehow made me detect a hint of pleasure. I appeared in the cafeteria side by side with Daniel, immediately attracting everyone's attention. Apparently, what happened between Daniel and me this morning had spread. At this moment, I didn't care. Instead, under everyone's gaze, I suddenly held Daniel's hand. The expressions of the people around all turned to surprise, and some were extremely excited. I thought to myself, now let's see if you won't be embarrassed along with me. However, the scene I imagined where Daniel was also scrutinized with strange looks didn't occur. After everyone's surprise, those strange looks still landed on me. Did I not go too far? Just as I was reflecting, Daniel suddenly asked me, what do you want to eat? I replied casually, sweet and sour spare ribs. Okay, go find a seat first. I'll come to you later. After saying that, he ruffled my hair a few times and strode towards the window selling sweet and sour spare ribs. I stared blankly at Daniel's back, forgetting for a moment how to react. Only the residual warmth on my head reminded me of what had just happened. At this time, I heard someone whispering beside me. I turned my head and saw several girls looking at me while covering their mouths as if they were saying something. It was obvious that they were talking about something related to me. The imbalance in my heart instantly reached the extreme. Clearly, the incident involved both Daniel and me. So why am I the only one who has to be humiliated? No, I must make Daniel lose face just once. There were few sweet and sour spare ribs in the cafeteria, and there were many people queuing. In the 2.5 years of high school, I had eaten them only a few times. Probably because of this, I couldn't forget about them. I never expected that Daniel would come back with 2 servings of shiny sweet and sour pork ribs in just 10 minutes after he left. Besides, there was also the white, cut chicken that I also liked. Wasn't there a long queue at the sweet and sour pork ribs window? I looked at Daniel suspiciously, then at the window not far away. There was clearly still a long queue there. How did you do it? I couldn't help asking again. Daniel smiled faintly and suddenly leaned towards me. The faint sandalwood fragrance on him wafted into my nose, and my heart skipped a beat inexplicably. Want to know? I nodded blankly. Then call me something nice. What do you mean? I felt inexplicably nervous, although my tone was not very good. I seemed to be putting on a show of strength. If you don't want to call me Daniel, then call me elder brother. Daniel looked serious and didn't seem to be joking at all. Okay, then save it for next time. Daniel answered his own question. Before I could react, he pulled me by the hand and sat me down at the empty table beside us. The cafeteria was crowded at this time, and I saw several people squeezed around some tables. But unexpectedly, this table was still empty. I noticed that the whispering around me got louder the moment I sat down. I really wanted to hear what everyone was saying, but unfortunately, the noise in the cafeteria was too loud. I strained my ears but still couldn't make out what they were saying. Eat your meal properly. Daniel picked up a piece of sweet and sour spare ribs and put it into my bowl. Looking at the shiny spare ribs, I finally couldn't help but start eating greedily. I had a very satisfying lunch. After eating and drinking to my heart's content, even looking at Daniel made me feel much more agreeable. By the way, how much was this lunch? I'll give it to you. I reached into my pocket. I'm not the kind of person who eats for free. Daniel's eyes darkened for a moment. Then he quickly smiled at me again. He took out his phone and opened the Line QR code. I don't like carrying cash with me. Add me on Line and transfer the money to me. Okay. Without much thought, I took out Line and scanned his QR code. After adding him as a friend, I asked Daniel the price of the lunch. I even transferred an extra $5, which was like a tip for Daniel. After the money was transferred, Daniel didn't accept it immediately. I didn't really care. I patted my satisfied belly and left the cafeteria. That day, I felt like a monkey in the zoo. Wherever I went, people gave me strange looks. Some students from other classes even came to our class specifically to take a look at me. There were still many girls surrounding Daniel as usual, and his attitude towards those girls seemed to be even colder. I got even more annoyed. Why am I treated differently from Daniel? I was so angry that it lasted until school was over. Originally, I still wanted to do something more to make Daniel lose face. But now I've lost the mood. I carried my school bag on my back and was about to ask Nora to go home with me. However, Nora came to me first, with a blushing face. She told me that she had made an appointment with her friend to go shopping and asked me to go home by myself. A certain radar in my heart suddenly went off. Her gaze also turned to Daniel behind me on the left. Daniel casually slung his backpack over his shoulder, seemingly about to leave. Without thinking much, I immediately rushed up and almost threw myself into his arms without being able to stop. Daniel seemed to be startled by my actions. He held my shoulders and looked at me in confusion, asking, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" There even seemed to be a hint of worry in his tone. Where are you going?" I asked him in a hurry without even catching my breath. "Going home." "Really just going home? No plans to go anywhere else?" I narrowed my eyes, not quite believing him. Could this kid be planning to secretly go on a date with Nora? "If you don't believe me, come with me," Daniel said as he took my hand. I originally wanted to refuse, but thinking of Nora, I subconsciously held Daniel's hand in return. As long as I keep an eye on Daniel, Nora won't have the chance to go on a date with him. Daniel glanced at me, a smile curving his lips. Daniel and I then walked out of the school hand in hand. Not long after we walked out of the school gate, Daniel led me to a car. "What's this?" Just as I was about to ask, Daniel had already opened the back door of the car. "Get in the car." Where are we going?" It was only then that I remembered to ask this question. "Didn't you say you'd go home with me?" "Well, how about?" I was a bit embarrassed. Or rather, I regretted it. My original intention was to prevent Nora from going on a date with Daniel after school. But going home with Daniel seems a bit strange. I'm not familiar enough with Daniel to go to his place. Seemingly sensing my thoughts, Daniel added, "Then we won't go to my place. I'll take you somewhere else." "Where are we going?" "Get in the car first and then I'll tell you." Daniel pushed me into the car and got in himself as well. I heard him tell the driver in the front a name. "Rauha Night Market." "Are we going to Rauha Night Market?" I looked at him excitedly. "Well, do you like it?" I nodded. "Of course I like it super much." Rauha Night Market is a newly opened night market in City A. It's very popular online recently. I often see it on Douyin. However, since I'm in my senior year of high school and Rauha Night Market is far from my home, my parents simply won't let me go. I originally thought I must go there once after the college entrance examination. Unexpectedly, Daniel took me there in advance. I looked at Daniel again and found this guy even more pleasing to the eye. Actually, thinking about it, Daniel doesn't seem to have done anything that makes me dislike him. Right? Unconsciously, Daniel has gradually changed in my heart. However, am I too easy to be bribed? This little doubt was dispelled after we arrived at Rauha Night Market. It was only evening, but the night market was already very lively. Rows of stalls were neatly arranged, and the aroma of various foods wafted into my nose. At the top of the stalls, they even invited singers to perform, creating a great atmosphere. However, what attracted me most were those delicious foods. "What would you like to eat?" Daniel asked me. I pointed to a stinky tofu stall not far away. "That one." That stinky tofu stand is quite famous online and even made it to the hot search list. Since I'm here, I definitely have to give it a try. However, there are an incredibly large number of people queuing up at this stall. It takes at least 2 hours to wait in line. I thought Daniel was just curious about what I wanted to eat. Unexpectedly, as soon as I finished speaking, he rubbed my head and said to me, "Okay, wait for me here. I'll go and buy it." It was only when I watched Daniel walking towards the stinky tofu stand that I realized something was off. No, why is Daniel being so nice? If I want to eat it, I should go and buy it myself. I realized what was going on and wanted to look for Daniel. But then I remembered that Daniel had asked me to wait for him here. There were already a lot of people in the night market at this time. If I really left, I would get separated from Daniel. I started to feel conflicted. At this time, Daniel had already come back with a large portion of stinky tofu. My eyes immediately lit up, and I took a few steps towards him. "How did you get it so quickly?" There were so many people queuing at the stinky tofu stand. "How did Daniel manage to buy it in 10 minutes? But Daniel gave me a helpless look and said, "A man shouldn't be called quick." My face suddenly felt a bit hot. This guy is quite vain. "I meant how you managed to buy it so quickly. Call me something nice and I'll tell you." Why does this sentence sound so familiar? I remembered that Daniel had said the same thing in the cafeteria today. Why do I feel like this guy is flirting with me? Wait. The word flirting seems a bit strange. Before I could think more, Daniel had already stuffed the stinky tofu into my hand. "Eat it." My attention was quickly drawn to the stinky tofu. Looking at the stinky tofu in my hand, I couldn't help but take out my phone and snap a few photos. After completing the photo-taking ritual, it was time to eat. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. After 3 pieces went into my mouth in a row, I was completely captivated by the stinky tofu that was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. And smelled bad but tasted delicious. "Is it delicious?" Daniel asked me. I nodded repeatedly. "It's delicious. So delicious." After saying that, I thought Daniel seemed not to have eaten any. So I picked up a piece and held it to his mouth. Daniel glanced at me, opened his mouth, and ate it. "Is it delicious?" "Well, of course it's delicious since you fed it to me." "Hey, it's not because I fed it to you. The stinky tofu itself is delicious." Daniel just smiled and didn't say a word. I didn't care to say more and started eating again. Of course, I'm not an ungrateful person. When I was eating, I would also feed Daniel 1 or 2 pieces. Daniel should quite like it. When I fed him, there was always a smile on his face, and his eyebrows also showed joy. After finishing the stinky tofu, Daniel took me to continue strolling. Whenever we came across something I liked to eat, he would ask me to wait nearby and go to buy it for me himself. And he seemed to really have some magical power to avoid queues. Every time, he didn't need to queue up and would get the things in just a few minutes. It can be said that strolling around the night market this time really didn't take any effort at all. Both my body and mind were satisfied. "Thank you so much for today." On the way back to my home, I said somewhat awkwardly, "After all, I used to regard Daniel as an enemy." It felt really strange to say thank you to an enemy no matter how I thought about it. Daniel stroked my head and said, "You don't need to be polite to me." The skillful movement and affectionate tone. Daniel seemed to do it very naturally. So naturally that I vaguely felt as if I had known him for a long time. In fact, I had only known him for about 3 days. Right? Anyway, because of this night market trip, my impression of Daniel has also changed a bit. To thank him, I brought him breakfast the next morning, holding yogurt and steamed buns with meat filling. I placed them on Daniel's desk under the gaze of quite a few classmates. Daniel's desk was still piled with all kinds of breakfast. In order to let Daniel know that this was the breakfast I sent, I specially left a note and stuck it on the yogurt. Just after finishing this series of things, Daniel came. I stood beside his seat and watched him walking towards me, feeling inexplicably embarrassed. Daniel seemed to be in a very good mood and walked up to me in a few steps. He glanced at the yogurt and steamed buns on the table and asked me, "Did you bring me breakfast?" I nodded, but there was a strange feeling in my heart. Clearly, I was just thanking Daniel for taking me to Rauha night market last night. But now, after what Daniel said, why does it feel different? How about having sweet and sour spare ribs for lunch? While I was in a dilemma, Daniel suddenly asked this question. My eyes lit up and I stopped being tangled at once. I nodded vigorously at Daniel. After that day, Daniel and I seemed to become lunch partners. We had lunch together every day. Eating with Daniel, I tried all the dishes in the first canteen that were previously hard to get. As a reward, I also bring Daniel breakfast every day. First, the classmates in the class would talk about this, but later they seemed to get used to it. It seems that it would be abnormal if I didn't have a meal with Daniel one day. What's scariest is that I myself also seem to get used to it. I subconsciously want to share everything with Daniel and stay with him as soon as class is over. The person who goes home with me after school is no longer Nora. Daniel personally sends me back every day. I feel that Daniel and I have become good friends. At this time, I even had the idea of being good friends and brothers with Daniel for a lifetime. However, changes often occur inadvertently. On Friday, Old K came to do something near University A and said he would come to see me by the way. Naturally, I didn't refuse, although I met Old K online. We've met several times in real life. As lunchtime was approaching, I asked Old K to come and try the food in our school canteen. Can I have the sweet and sour spare ribs you mentioned? You've been telling me how delicious the sweet and sour spare ribs are every day. Don't tell me you're reluctant to share them with me? No, of course not. At this moment, I'm a bit regretful that I've been talking about sweet and sour spare ribs with Bro K online every night these days. At first, it seemed that I just simply wanted to say that the sweet and sour spare ribs were delicious. But later, when I mentioned the sweet and sour spare ribs to Bro K, my feelings gradually changed a bit. As soon as the last class before lunch was over, I immediately got up and prepared to rush to the canteen at the first moment. As a result, before I could even run out, I was grabbed by Daniel. Where are you going? To have a meal? Going to have a meal by yourself? I felt inexplicably guilty when asked this question by Daniel. It seemed as if I was going to abandon Daniel. However, when I thought of Bro K, I felt inexplicably uneasy. I stammered a bit and had to tell him the truth. Daniel seemed very interested when he heard that a friend was coming to see me. Since your friend is here, let's have dinner together. It's a good chance for me to get to know your friend. Hearing this, I couldn't be happy. Instead, I felt rather gloomy. An idea popped into my head. Will Daniel also be this nice to Bro K? For a moment, I felt a twinge of jealousy in my heart. Wait, what am I thinking about? To stop myself from overthinking, I quickly took out my phone and called Bro K, telling him to come over for dinner. After hanging up the phone and turning around, I seemed to see a hint of coldness on Daniel's face. Was it an illusion? I took an extra look and found that Daniel still had a smile on his face. Where did the cold look come from? You must be Bro K. Hello. Seeing Bro K, Daniel greeted him actively with a gentle attitude. Then he suddenly asked, Do you know my relationship with Michael? Bro K was taken aback by this question and quickly looked at me. He asked me with his eyes what my relationship with Daniel was. I was also confused. What kind of relationship could I have with Daniel? Aren't we just classmates? Or maybe just good friends? Before I could give Bro K a meaningful look, Daniel took my hand. Bro K beside us was left dumbstruck. But I was used to it. The holding hands with Daniel was something that almost all the schoolmates were accustomed to. How about buying you sweet and sour spare ribs? Daniel asked me. I nodded. He added, I heard there's also sliced boiled chicken today. Do you want some? I do. But I also want spicy shrimp. I said bluntly as I ordered. Daniel helplessly tapped my forehead. Didn't you say your throat hurt this morning? You're getting inflamed. Don't eat spicy food these days. But the spicy shrimp in the first canteen is rarely available. It's a rare chance today. Please let me have some. No. If you want to eat shrimp, I'll take you to have boiled shrimp after school. What's the fun in boiled shrimp? I just want the spicy kind. However, no matter how I begged Daniel, he still wouldn't agree to buy me the spicy shrimp. This heartless guy. The heartless Daniel just walked away. Remembering that Bro K was still beside me, I pointed to an empty table not far away from him. Regarding this empty table, it was only after having meals with Daniel a few times that I heard my deskmate tell me that this was Daniel's exclusive table. Why does Daniel have an exclusive table? That's because his father donated a teaching building to the school. Just by seeing that Daniel is picked up and dropped off by a private car on a daily basis, one can tell that his family background must be extraordinary. Daniel has excellent academic performance. He was also the top student in his original school for years. He transferred to our school entirely because of his father's job. And his father's donation of the teaching building to the school wasn't to get special treatment for his son. He just wanted his son to be comfortable. Why are you looking at me like this? I noticed that Bro K had been staring at me since just now, and I got goosebumps all over. I'm convinced. I'm completely convinced of you. Buddy. Bro K clasped his fists at me and bowed twice. Speak some human words that I can understand. Bro K. Are you pretending to be stupid in front of me? What's going on between you and that transfer student? Me and Daniel? What could be going on between us? You were acting like a shy young wife in front of that Daniel just now. And you still won't tell me the truth? I said back then that this kind of self-sacrificing behavior of yours might very well land you in trouble. Now it seems that you really lived up to my words. What self-sacrificing and getting into trouble? What are you talking nonsense about? Me and Daniel are just good friends and good buddies. I don't know why, but when I said this, I felt inexplicably uneasy and seriously lacked confidence. Bro K obviously noticed it too. He gave me a pat on the shoulder. You like him but won't admit it. Nonsense. How could I like him? I stood up excitedly. The word like from Bro K seemed to pierce something in my heart. It was as if a balloon in my heart had burst. An indescribable emotion welled up. Before I could figure out what it was, I quickly said, I definitely can't like Daniel. I approached him in the first place just to make Nora misunderstand that he likes men. You know all this. Everything I'm doing now is for Nora. Stop talking nonsense. After saying these words, instead of feeling relieved, I felt even more burdened. Even more unexpectedly. Daniel's voice sounded behind me. Really? His voice was cold. No longer gentle as usual. My back stiffened. And I didn't even have the courage to turn around. Daniel had a cold look on his face. Without the usual gentle smile, he stared at me with his eyes. And there seemed to be a hint of hurt between his eyebrows. I opened my mouth to say something, but Daniel had already grabbed my hand and dragged me out of the cafeteria. Bro K knew something was wrong and didn't dare to follow. When I looked back, I saw him eating the sweet and sour spare ribs that Daniel had brought back. Oh my God. How heartless. I'm in such a situation, and this guy still has the mood to eat? I was dragged back to the classroom by Daniel. At this time, all the classmates had gone out for a meal. The empty classroom made me even more nervous. When we arrived at the classroom, Daniel let go of my hand. He remained silent, and I didn't dare to speak or even move. I just stood obediently where I was. After a long while, Daniel finally spoke. So, you don't like me. You held my hand and hugged me on purpose just to make Nora misunderstand that I like men. I lowered my head and didn't dare to make a sound at all. Daniel reached out and pinched my chin, lifting it up, forcing me to look at him. Do you like Nora? No, I don't. I quickly explained. The expression on Daniel's face seemed a bit more pleasant. The next moment, he asked again. Then do you like me? I lowered my head and remained silent again. Daniel's face also darkened. You don't like me but still flirt with me? I lowered my head even more. Inside, I was screaming frantically. Help! I accidentally turned a straight guy gay. What should I do now that things have gone out of control? Urgent. Waiting online. After a long while passed, perhaps seeing that I kept silent all the time, Daniel suddenly said, You're really something, Michael. After saying that, he left the classroom without looking back. I thought Daniel just went out to calm down and ease his mood, and I even felt relieved about his departure. Unexpectedly, Daniel didn't come back until school was over. Where on earth did this guy go? I began to feel a bit worried. I took out my phone and wanted to call Daniel, but thinking of what Daniel said in the classroom not long ago, I still didn't dare to dial the number in the end. I'm not a fool. Naturally, I know what Daniel's words meant. At first, I really had bad intentions. But after I really became friends with Daniel later, I gradually forgot my original purpose. I never thought that Daniel would fall in love with me because of this. Oh, I've really done something terrible. It was long after school. My mind was in a mess, and I had no mood to go home. So I just sat there in my seat all the time. My mind was filled with all sorts of things about Daniel. It seemed that I couldn't listen to anything else except Daniel. Suddenly, someone shouted Daniel, and I immediately came to my senses and looked over. However, I didn't see Daniel, but saw several girls surrounding Daniel's seat, as if they were discussing his school bag. Why don't we take it away? Then we can talk to Daniel tomorrow when we return the school bag. This is a good idea. However, there's only one school bag. We'd better each take something out of the school bag. In this way, everyone will have a chance to talk to Daniel later. These girls are not from our class. Seeing that they were really about to rummage through Daniel's school bag, I immediately stopped them. Stop. After saying that, I quickly stepped forward and snatched Daniel's school bag from their hands. Those girls looked at me with rather unfriendly looks in their eyes. Just when I thought I would surely have a scuffle with them, one of the girls whispered, "Forget it. Let's not quarrel with him. Didn't Daniel warn us not to cause trouble for him?" I caught what she said with my sharp ears. "What did you say?" I looked at that girl. The girl was obviously frightened by my attitude. She blustered and asked, "What do you want to do? I'm not afraid of you. Even if Daniel is protecting you, you're not allowed to bully people casually. Don't misunderstand. I don't mean anything else. I just want to know if Daniel has said anything to you." Hearing this, the looks in those girls' eyes when they looked at me became complicated. There seemed to be a hint of jealousy in the complexity. The girl with a high ponytail said, "You made such a high-profile pursuit of Daniel back then. Do you think that just because you're a guy, no one would bother you? Let me tell you, there are countless girls in the school who want to put a sack over your head. But Daniel specifically warned us that if anyone dared to trouble you, he would make it impossible for us to survive in school." Having said this, there was a bit more resentment in the girl's tone. "I really don't know what Daniel likes about you. He actually gave up a whole garden of us for just one single you." Listening to the girl's words, I was completely stunned. I really didn't expect that Daniel had actually done these things privately. At that time, I deliberately got close to him. Yet Daniel wholeheartedly accepted me. Walking out of the school with Daniel's school bag in my arms, I was somewhat muddled. My heart was constantly in a state of panic and confusion. First, confusion took up a large proportion. But now panic is gradually swallowing up confusion. It seems that I've lost something important. I rarely had insomnia that night. After thinking about it all night, I still haven't figured out how to handle my relationship with Daniel. However, when I woke up in the morning, I made a decision. If Daniel is willing, we can still be good friends like before. I came to school carrying Daniel's school bag. However, to my surprise, Daniel didn't come to school today. Then came the second day, the third day, the fourth day. A whole week passed. Daniel didn't come to school. I sent him a message online but got no reply, and called him but he didn't answer. At this point, panic had completely taken over my body and mind, and I could no longer pretend nothing had happened. When I got home at night, I helplessly called Bro K for help. Since that time in the cafeteria, I haven't contacted Bro K again. I forgot about Bro K because of Daniel's matter. While I don't know why Bro K didn't contact me, receiving my call, Bro K seemed very surprised. "Did you call me because the problem has been solved?" Only then did I know that Bro K didn't contact me because he dared not. He thought that the incident in the cafeteria that day would definitely cause trouble between me and Daniel. "Since you knew it, why didn't you call me and tell me? Your little brother here is like a headless fly now and has no idea what to do." Actually, it's very simple to solve this matter. Simple? How could it be simple? You just need to admit one thing. What should I admit? I said, "Bro, it's this kind of time. Could you stop being so mysterious?" Of course. It's to admit that you like Daniel. The point that Daniel is angry about now is that you don't like him. As long as you admit that you like him, Can't you two make up and be as close as before? What are you talking nonsense about? Brokay? I asked you to give me some advice, not to give me stupid ideas. Is it stupid? But the fact is that you like Daniel. Isn't it? Brokay's matter-of-fact tone made me can't help but start to reflect. Do I like Daniel? Do I really like Daniel? This rhetorical question actually had a calming effect on my panicked mood over the past few days. But what followed was not knowing what to do. So, after turning Daniel gay, have I also turned myself gay? I looked at the ceiling melancholy, with my mind blank, in the blink of an eye. Half a month passed, and Daniel still didn't come to school. During these days, many people came to ask me about Daniel, and I dismissed them all with a single I don't know. As time went by, rumors began to spread in school that Daniel and I had broken up. Those who always looked at me with strange looks now looked at me with sympathy. Do you know? Daniel is going to transfer to another school. Nora suddenly came to me and dropped this explosive news on me. What? I looked at her in shock. Henry told me. Henry is the other person who transferred to school with Daniel. He has a good relationship with Daniel. Obviously, the news from his mouth should be true. At this moment, I couldn't hold it in any longer, thinking that Daniel was going to transfer schools and leave, and that I would never see Daniel again in the future. My heart felt like it was being pricked by needles, and I felt so uncomfortable that I could hardly breathe. Nora seemed to sense what I was thinking. She stuffed a small note into my hand. Here is Daniel's home address. Go and find him. Don't be so depressed anymore. Looking at Nora's worried eyes, I felt very ashamed. These days, I've really been living in a muddle. Thank you. I clenched the small note tightly and immediately rushed out of the classroom. After leaving school, I hailed a taxi by the roadside, handed the address on the note to the driver, and then began a long wait. An hour later, the taxi stopped in front of a huge villa. I opened the door and got out of the car. After struggling to find the doorbell, I pressed it. The doorbell rang for a long time, but no one opened the door. I pressed it again unwillingly, but still no one came to open the door. Panic thought popped into my mind. Could it be that Daniel has already left? I could no longer hold back and shouted loudly at the big iron gate. Daniel! Daniel! It's Michael! Daniel! I shouted at the top of my lungs for a long time. Just when I was about to give up, a tall and slender figure appeared in front of me. The big iron gate slowly opened. I looked at the visibly thinner Daniel without the slightest hesitation, took a few steps forward, and pounced on him to hug him. I was about to say the words I had long organized when I heard Daniel's deep voice. You're finally here. Ha! I pulled out of his embrace and looked up at him. Daniel's much thinner face was filled with a faint, pleasant smile. You came to see me, which means you've thought it through, right? I nodded blankly. What was going on? I thought I'd have to explain things laboriously when I saw Daniel. But unexpectedly, Daniel seemed to know everything. Perhaps the doubt in my eyes was too obvious. So Daniel nodded. Yes, I know you like me. I've known from the very beginning. I was just angry that day because you were reluctant to admit that you like me. Later, from Daniel's words, I learned that the reason he disappeared was to wait for me to recognize my own feelings and wait for me to come to him voluntarily. I found his actions both amusing and heart-wrenching. What if I never figure it out and never come to you? Daniel hugged me tightly and said, Then I'll come to you. A simple sentence made me can't help but feel lucky that I came here. Fortunately, I didn't let Daniel down in the end.